It's all good. 2021, 2022. It's not been going as I expected at all. What else? What else do I do? I'm trying to think. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to do another episode for one of my favorite series, Ask Mona. And just as a reminder, you guys, anything you want to ask me, comment, email, share whatever questions you have, and we'll try to answer you guys in our next episode. What was the transition like moving from the US to Dubai? Okay, so this is a bit personal for me. I think if I was to move from the US to Dubai now, it'd be a very different experience. I moved here in 2002 when I was 17, and I moved to Sharjah. So I didn't actually move to Dubai. It's a different emirate. It's a little bit more traditional, more conservative, more old-fashioned, a little bit more Arab. It doesn't feel like you're in Dubai. Dubai to me is like another planet on its own. It's another like universe. It's something, it's a city that I've never seen before. It's a very progressive, modern, advanced city. The one thing that drew me to Dubai was just like the amount of diversity. Like people are so different. Everybody comes from a different walk of life, different culture, different backgrounds. And like, I feel like you learn so much from people, and I love that. And I just feel like it's safe. It's great for business. It's amazing. I can't say enough amazing things about Dubai. I mean, this is again, my experience. I'm sure there's people who probably had very different experiences, but for me, I feel like it really is a land of opportunity and safety. I honestly can't say enough great things about Dubai. I think that as an American, you do have to keep in mind though, this is a very international city. Like for me, when I left the States, I never lived in another country before. So I was very American at that time. And it was a bit of a culture shock because I feel like Americans in general are a little bit in their own bubble compared to people from like Europe, Asia, Africa, everywhere else. Like I feel like Americans really are kind of in our own American bubble. So you do need to keep in mind that there'll probably be like an adjustment period where you really need to like be a little bit more adaptive and like open-minded. But again, times are very different now. So I think that if you moved here now and you're like late 20s, 30s, I feel like you'd have a different experience. I was 17 and it was 2002 and I moved to Sharjah. So it's very different. I actually struggled a lot, and we could do another video about that, like just dealing with culture shock and like a big change, a big move, a completely new environment. I struggled so much. I actually quit high school. I stayed home forever, like for months. I was depressed. I put on weight. I was like, I just want to go home. I hated it. But yeah, we'll do another video about that. If you guys want, comment down below. Next question. How do you keep yourself motivated when you aren't feeling it mentally and physically? Ooh. So I've definitely done a lot of content on how to stay motivated. So we're gonna put some links down below so you guys can check it out. But in general, if I was gonna summarize it, I would say like something that I feel is very important for me to stay motivated is to have like a very clear outline of my goals, because if it's not very clear to me, then I don't really know what I'm trying to work towards, you know? So I think having goals that are going to push you a little bit is important, not too far where it's unreachable, because then you feel like you can't even get there, but something that's just gonna push you to grow, push you to be driven, and then having the clarity of what those goals are. So I think definitely we're gonna link down below some videos on how to stay motivated, but also my life balance wheel, because I think it's really important to help you set goals. So know what you're going after. And another thing is like really just have moments of balance, because for me, if I'm not balanced, I'm not motivated. Like anytime that I feel extremely off, it's like because either I don't know what I'm after or I don't have balance in life. So for me, that's the reset I need. And of course, there's occasionally things that demotivate us, like awful periods of life, like whether it's a breakup, grief, losing somebody that you love, frustration in one particular area, and that's different. It needs to be addressed separately, and you need to find a solution for that. But in general, I feel like to stay really motivated, just have a really clear idea of what you're working towards every day. All right, next question. How can I stop taking things so personally? This is so hard. And I feel like the best way to stop taking things personally is just to literally remind yourself it's not usually personal. Like 99% of times, things are actually not about us, even though we think it is. Like someone who's rude to you, it's usually because they're having a bad day or they're frustrated with themselves. Like most of the times, it's not because they have an issue with you. For me, the best way that I learned this was people coming to me being like, "Are you upset with me? What's wrong?" And I'm like, "Oh my God, I was shocked, by people saying like, "Oh, are you mad? Are you this?" And I was like, "Oh my God." And then I just put myself in their shoes. Like, I can't believe they took it personally. I wonder how many times I've taken things personally when they haven't been. So, you know, I feel like it's a tough one. You just need to remember that it really is usually not personal. If you really feel like someone has a personal issue, address it, you know, in a nice way, a non-confrontational way where you're just coming to them and just saying like, listen, I felt like frustrated with me. Is anything bothering you? Do you want to talk about it? And just see what they say. Usually if you're coming from a place of like concern and love, like people will just say, oh, you know what? I'm just really having a terrible day right now. I'm going through this, I'm going through that. And you'll just realize it really has nothing to do with you. So I think it's a part of our ego as a human. We all have an ego no matter what. Even if you try your best not to, it's like naturally built in. It's like a survival instinct that we were built with. So you just have to remind yourself, remind your ego, just calm yourself down, get that security back. It's probably nothing to do with you. What are some ways to recharge your emotional batteries? This is a very good question. And for me, as a super emotional, sensitive person, I do this like daily. Like I have to because I need it. And I'm only going to share my ways, but there's tons of ways, but these are things that I do on a daily basis. Number one is I schedule my morning for myself. So usually I train in the morning, which I believe recharges my emotional batteries, even though it's a physical thing. For me, it's also emotional. Like you're releasing so many amazing hormones that really affect your emotions. After I train, I take a nice shower. Again, I feel like that's emotionally recharging myself. And then I have space for myself to write. And this is like a form of journaling, and I think that really helps. So if there's anything on my mind, again, this is like 5 minutes, just write it out. Like anything stressing you out, put it out. It could literally be like, my neighbor's annoying me. Just write it out. Like anything, the smallest things, those things add up. And if you leave it in your head, you're gonna feel drained. So just literally, if you take that discipline of just writing every day, it literally takes me less than 5 minutes. I swear, like just a few minutes. I'm just like, this stressed me out today. That email is stressing me out. My to-do list, whatever, like something my friend said, whatever, just write it out. I also like pray 5 times a day. And for me, that's a huge recharge because every time I pray, I feel like I'm connecting spiritually. And for me, I am a spiritual person. So it's so important to me. I notice when I do that, it's just, I'm a different person than when I don't do it. So that's why I really try to stay strict on that. And it makes me feel very different. And again, depends on you and your beliefs and your spirituality and whatever connects with you. But for me, that's emotional recharge. Another thing is like, I do spend time with people I love. Like I love my family. I love my team. I'm loving with them. I'm warm with them. And usually they're warm back. And that's the thing about like, you know, whatever you're giving off to people usually comes back to you, you know, so be gracious with the people around you. Give them love and you're probably going to get some back. You know, I think the other things are quite basic, but they're things that I do very strictly almost every single day. Like I sleep well, I eat well. And even though these things are, again, like they're physical, but they really affect your emotions because when you're tired, when you're exhausted, when you're not doing these things, you emotionally feel more sensitive, you're more agitated, you're more sad, you know? So really like eating well, sleeping well, being physical, like even though these things aren't necessarily directly correlated to your emotions, they do make you feel better or worse. So these are the things that I do on a regular basis. The things that I do on like one-offs, like here and there, are like brain dumps. So that's where I'm like, I'll go for a walk on the beach and I'll literally voice note all my feelings. It's so funny because my neighbors probably think I'm on a call, but I'm just like talking to myself and I'm literally saying anything on my mind. It could be like literally like whatever's stressing me out. I could have a conversation with myself almost of like, you know, what I'm feeling, what I think that I should do about a situation, but like really just getting it out of your head, in my opinion, is so, just makes you feel lighter. Like brain dumping is so important. For me anyway, because I am introverted, so I keep things in if I don't make an effort to get them out. A nice playlist can emotionally recharge you. Like I have a happy playlist. I have a morning playlist. I have like playlists to create different moods. And those happy playlists I have, again, they're like songs that like really bring me joy. They put me in the best mood, the best spirit. Like I play them and I'll dance sometimes. I love when I just dance my heart out and sing. When you dance and sing together, that's like a killer combination because you're just like releasing so much energy and it's like the best. Just lock your door, put on YouTube with like a song and the lyrics and just sing your heart out and dance like a wacko. I love it. I swear by it. Perfume. Hello, perfume princess. Again, like, I think this is a great way to recharge. I love spraying a fragrance that makes me happy. And like for me, fragrances really do create mood. So like I have fragrances that make me feel happy. I have fragrances that make me feel sexy, confident, relaxed, whatever, energized. But for me, I have happy fragrances. So I think find one and find some candles, some room spray, find something that really makes you feel amazing. So these are some ways. I have more. I could go on forever. I think this is again like a separate video, but these are things that definitely make me feel emotionally recharged. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching. Please comment down below any other questions you guys have, any other feedback. If you have any answers that you think would work for the questions that were asked today, please feel free to share it. Thank you again for watching, and please remember to like this video and subscribe to my channel and share this video as well if it helped you. Love you guys so much.